Hey, good evening, Periscope. Oh, I've not lined this up very well yet again. My goodness, I always do this. Lee is here. Good evening, folks. How are we doing, Lee? Good to see you again. Selena is here. Let's give people a few minutes to join, as per usual. I've got a hot chocolate tonight, kids. I've gone for it in my BB-8 Star Wars mug. Still haven't seen the new Star Wars film, but I had a coffee earlier. Not allowed one. Fanny's here. Great to see you. I hope you've had a good Easter. For those who are watching on the replay, appreciate you as well. Nina's here. Good evening. You're not going to be able to comment like Nina and Warren and everybody else here. Selena's saying aloha, which is hello in some other language. Selena, hello. Hello, Warren. But if you are watching on the replay, if you're watching it on Periscope, then you can still tap the screen to give us hearts. Or if you're watching this replay on YouTube, you can't do either of that, but it means get on the next one live. Get yourself over to actonthis.tv to watch more replays and follow me on Periscope at Ross A. Grant. Madam Soska is here as well. Girly Whirly is here. Missed that comment, Lee. I think you left a comment, mate. I think it was Lee. It could have been Warren. I missed that. Say it again. I couldn't read it in time. So yeah, for those who don't know me, my name's Ross. I'm an actor and a voiceover artist from Manchester in the UK, and I scope currently 3 times a week. We're going to be, I think, guys, dropping to twice a week. Once on a Monday, we're going to do this scope that we're doing tonight on a Monday night called Motivation and Mind Hacks, and that's exactly what it sounds like. It's mind hacks to give you more motivation in your life, make you more productive, help you get further in your life faster. On a Wednesday, we'll be doing book club. Just when wondering how you've not seen Star Wars yet, I haven't seen it, Lee. Priorities, mate. So Wednesday we're going to do book club. Sam's here. Good evening, Sam. And then on a Friday we're doing something new. I would normally do 2 Periscopes Monday, Wednesday, and then a book club on Friday. So we're going to do Periscope on a Monday, book club on a Wednesday, and I'm going to release a podcast every week on a Friday called 5 Minute Friday, and it's going to be a 5-minute boost of inspiration, motivation, help you with productivity. Like I say, it's basically a mini, Tony, good evening, a mini Periscope that you can listen to through the day, in the evening, just whenever, because a lot of people on Friday night go and do exciting things. Although most of our crew here, we don't do it. We still stay in and have a hot chocolate or a coffee. But I'm going to try it out. You're going to be able to get that on iTunes potentially from this Friday if I can get it processed and passed in time. So guys, tonight, you've seen the little trailer that I put up on Facebook before, or Instagram, or any of the other millions of places that I leave stuff through the day. You'll see I said we're going to get real, okay? We're going to get real tonight, and we're going to look at 7 signs that you are going to fail, okay? I don't want this to be like a negative down Periscope, but these, rather than constantly talking about what makes us succeed, I think it's vitally just as important to look at what makes us not succeed, and what causes problems in our lives. And these are 7 things that I see cropping up in people's lives time and time again. For those who might just be tuning in for the first time, doing the hands thing again, Lee, I always do this. I'm going to sit like this for a minute and just look very intellectual. Thanks for sharing, Tony. For those who don't know me, I launched a mindset program specifically for actors in February called Bulletproof Actor, Unstoppable Confidence, Infinite Success, which the first group are nearly through now. We've got one of the final live trainings tomorrow night. It's all very exciting. Sasha's joined. Good evening, Sasha. And what's really interesting, seeing students go through the program, is that a lot of people are suffering from the same issues, the same limiting beliefs about themselves, what they deserve from life, what they're entitled to, really, what they're asking life for. I say on a lot of scopes, life will pay any price you ask of it. But what are you asking of it? And if you're just asking for a little bit, that's all you're ever going to get. If you're asking for a big slice of life, life will give you whatever you ask of it. But you need to look at what you are asking. But it's interesting seeing people fall for the same kind of things. And I had a conversation on the phone with Lee today, and a lot of the things that Lee was, cropped up in his life as he's writing a new limitless life story for himself, I've seen crop up in loads of people's lives already, going through Bulletproof Actor as well. So some of those are covered in here. Everything in here, guys, these 7 signs you're going to fail, are here because I've experienced every single one of them, right? There's probably now still one of these things that crops up in my life more than I would like. The other 6 I've managed to literally eliminate, and my life has transformed radically since doing so. These things were a massive part of my life maybe a decade ago when I was like 22, 23. but they're not age exclusive. These are things that will carry through till your 60s, 70s, 80s if you don't get a hold on them at some point in your life. Potentially the first one might be for younger folks watching the scope, but the rest we're all fallible for. So if you're ready, give me some hearts. Tell me you're tucked in, or whatever you're doing. You've got your coffee or your hot chocolate. The hearts are coming through, colours galore. And we will begin. So like I say, this first one, it might only apply to those who are younger on the call, but it might still be part of your life. I see it in people who are still 30 and 40, to be honest. So it is applicable to a lot of people, but this was particularly prevalent in my life. Heb's here. Good evening, Heb. When I was younger, okay, and that's the first one here, right? Okay, number one, the first sign that you're going to fail is this: you love wasting money and expect your parents to foot the bill, right? This might only apply to the younger folks watching this scope I've put here, but you would be surprised how many people 30 plus who still have this attitude, and I know them. I know people who still have this attitude. Nothing wrong with parents helping their kids when they are very young, or even helping them out from time to time even when they are older. But if you keep spending their money frivolously without knowing and appreciating how hard they work to get it, then it means you aren't mature enough to respect money. And if you don't respect money, it won't respect you. Helen Power's in the house. So yeah, if you don't respect money, it won't respect you, okay? And this one for me, like when I when I was at uni at drama school in my 20s, I would go out and I would spend money on things that weren't benefiting my life in the long run. They would be instantly gratuitous things like going out drinking, buying new clothes. I wasn't investing anything in myself and my future. Hitesh, good to see you. And I would rack up these credit card bills of a couple of £1,000 and go, oh my God, how have I kind of done this? I've spent all my student loan as well. And my dear old mum, who's lovely, bless her, would pay, like, not because I would ask, but they would, when they like to do it, don't they? They step in sometimes and go, oh, well, I'll just pay £500 off that for you. And then you go, oh, okay, sweet, I've got £500. And then, and then you still don't learn and you don't invest that. And then it gets to the point where I'm like, I need to kind of start taking accountability and responsibility for my own finances, because your parents or your partner or whoever it is isn't going to be there all the time to bail you out. And I just see a lot of people kind of, still not respecting money, and they end up with a really unhealthy attitude and unhealthy relationship with money. They have kind of like this all or bust mentality. They might get an influx of cash and they spend it all at once. Another influx of cash, they spend it all at once. So they're living from paycheck to paycheck, as opposed to actually, putting some money aside and investing in something that might not pay them back anything today, but in the future might. So in my business, it's like, okay, well, I could go, and this Easter weekend, right? I didn't go out at all because I just don't go out these days really anyway, but a few of my mates invited me out. Now I know if I'd have gone out, and I've not been out in months and months and months, but if I'd have gone on a night out, I might have spent 120 quid, on an entire night out. Might have had some food, a meal, drinks, taxi home, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, if I've not got that money to spare, then what would be far better would be for me to invest that in my business. So buy a new camera, buy a new microphone, okay, that might not give me anything back today, but through using that, I can create products with that I can sell in the future, and it's going to pay me back dividends. So I've got something to show for it. And I think, growing up, you realise that. But for me, in my early 20s, I didn't have that mentality at all. It was all about living for today, as opposed to, planting some seeds and reaping what you sow. So that's the first one. And I see people, anybody still have this relationship with money where they waste it? Another thing that does my head in, all work and no play. Well, it is needed, but it depends on whether you enjoy your work. So what I would argue there is, work is a word that we associate with something that, work depends really, that is a word that we give to the thing that earns us money when we have a negative emotion attached to it. So you definitely do have to have fun too, Sasha, but I don't class I honestly don't feel I've worked a day in my life in the last 5 or 6 years. And because the emotion that I associate with this, this is my work. this effectively, this running the websites, the acting work, the voiceover work, I have a very positive emotion with it all, so I don't class it necessarily as work. What I do when I worked in the shop, but is it not right to be happy now and let tomorrow deal with itself? It depends on whether it depends on whether you are wasting money. So it says that you love wasting money. Effectively, I had a conversation with somebody before who does have this issue. It's like they call it a crazy 8, where it's got a bit of a negative emotion with finances. So it gets to the point where, so if you imagine like a figure of 8 symbol here like this, and this is her life, who goes, it goes around like this. So what happens is you start up here, starts drifting down, getting bored with life, bored with finances, kind of struggling along, hits rock bottom here, goes, right, I'm not settling for this anymore, I'm better than this, I can do more than this, I shouldn't be going out wasting money, I'm going to do something. For a few days, starts doing really productive things in business and things that are really going to enhance her life, until she comes back up the other side here, feels good enough by doing those things to stop working hard again, and then gradually slides down until she gets so fed up of a situation again, has a big paddy, back up here, does some work for a bit, slides down here, and just lives this crazy 8 cycle, both in state of being, finances, body, physicality, everything. So if what you're doing today isn't gonna, I don't know, kind of serve you in the long run, then no, I would say that it feels like a waste. And that isn't like don't have fun. It's like just don't do things but spending time with friends is valuable. Yeah, no, definitely. And I don't isolate myself. Love work that doesn't feel like work. My struggle is with work to pay the bills. That's less fun. Well, exactly. So that was me when I was working in game. I hated what I was doing to earn money. Thus, I called it work. The emotion I associated with the thing that allowed me to earn money was negative for me. So it felt like work. Whereas this, honestly, some nights I would rather work. I get so much more out of this, and more significance, and more contribution, and more satisfaction out of working on some of the things that I run in business that earn me money, and freedom credits, and allow me experiences and hook me up with new contacts and a network of people, than going out and getting drunk. I can't deal with hangovers now. I mean, literally, I told you, didn't I? I went out 2 weeks ago for a meal, had half a bottle of wine, felt dreadful the next day, absolutely dreadful. I'm like, I can't deal with that anymore. So that becomes not fun for me. But yeah, ultimately, it's about what you're doing with your money. Don't come and tell me you've not got enough money to do what you want to do in your life and career, and why you're so frustrated if you're going out and wasting money on other stuff. Classic example, Christmas party at an acting class I used to go to. Some of the guys on that course, saying, Ross, I still drink but can't drink to the point of hangovers anymore. It's terrible, Tony, I can't do it. Some of the people on the course I was on were coming to class each week and saying, I can't afford this, it's £20 a week, I can't afford it, so I'm going to have to drop out of this acting class. It's so hard, you've got to be so rich to be an actor and train and pay for Spotlight and pay for this and pay for that. The Christmas party for that acting class, they were the first at the bar buying £30 rounds of tequila. And I'm like, come on, you're talking utter nonsense. You've got the money, you just want to spend it on the things that are going to make you feel good today. And ultimately, that's what I'm talking about. That's a waste. If you put that money into the thing that isn't going to give you instant gratification right now, but down the line, you're going to have shed loads of gratification when you pull it off and you have success, then that for me is what you should be doing with it. So I just think, yeah, I mean, it's just my opinion, but one, if you love wasting money and you expect, obviously sometimes you won't expect your parents if you're older, but if you just expect to either be bailed out or you're just going to constantly complain about your finances when you're wasting money on stuff that isn't serving you, then things aren't going to change for you and you will fail at whatever you are trying to try to achieve. Number 2, we waffled on for a bit there, didn't I? But I hope the point kind of comes across. Point number 2, you are not disciplined. This is a massive one. You're not disciplined. If you cannot practice discipline, then you simply will not succeed in anything you do. If you always want instant pleasure, again, it feeds back into number 1. If you always want instant pleasure instead of being willing to tolerate pain today for a payoff in the future, then your life is not much different from that of an animal that only wants food and sleep. Okay, if your life is only limited to that, good for you, that's fine, but you won't be changing the world anytime soon. So again, these are all next level things, guys. I'm not saying that this is the way you live your life and this is how it has to be. You can go out and do all that other stuff, but if that's all you do, then you aren't going to make a dent in the universe. You'll end up doing what everyone else does in life, and you'll have what everybody else has in life. And if that's what you want, then that's absolutely fine. I'm not anyone to tell you how to live your life, but I see a lot of people who aren't disciplined. They're in love with the idea of having success more than actually putting in the work to achieve it. So the second one is discipline. How disciplined do you think you are out of 10? You know, if you set yourself a target, do you make sure you hit it? Let me know. See how you would score yourself. But discipline's a massive one, and it's something I need to remind myself of every day. Sometimes I don't feel always like, hitting it 100% all the time, but I have to go, no, completing Bulletproof Actor, the program, there was times in that I was like, oh God, I've still got all this to do, still got that to do, but I'm disciplined and make sure I do it. Depends on what the target is, says Hitesh. Yeah, definitely. Depends if you set yourself a good target and there's a nice reward there. But yeah, so who said 7? Lee says he's at a 7. I'd say I'm at a 7. Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna be at a 10. I'm not at a 10. I'd put myself maybe an 8, I think. When I do commit, I follow it through, says Selena. Because it is, that's half the battle. It's and that feeds on to the next point. If you're disciplined, then you have a much better chance of following through and succeeding. But a maybe is always a no, says Selena. Yeah, exactly. So if you turn your shoulds into musts as well, that's the thing. Rather than saying I should go to the gym, I must go to the gym. I should do this, I must do this. If you turn your shoulds into musts, you get them done. Dab4 Vita is here. Not heard the username before. Let's know where you're viewing from. Point number 3. This again all stems on from you're not disciplined. Okay, so you don't finish what you start. Okay, we've all been guilty of this. I used to be hugely guilty of this. I'd get so many ideas. I'd start one, and before I'd even got halfway through, I'd have another idea that I'd begin. One of the key differences between successful people and failures is that the former usually finish what they start, and the latter almost never do. Failures say they want to follow their passion, but when the going gets tough, they throw the towel in. 90% of actors I see, okay, David from Manchester, good to see you, mate. 90% of actors that I see, right, do not want to put in the work needed to succeed. They love the idea of being an actor more than actually being an actor. Passion isn't enough if you lack the commitment. And what I mean by that is it's quite a romantic job title, isn't it? When your friends say, oh, so what do you do? Oh, I'm an actor. If you're at the point where you can even say you're an actor, if you feel that, a lot of people struggle with even saying that because they don't feel they deserve to say it if they've not been in something, or because the next question generally they're asked is like, what have you been in? So what have I seen you in, and that kind of thing. So they often don't even admit it and just hide away and go, oh, I'm just training to do this or whatever. But yeah, a lot of people love the idea of being able to say that because it's glamorous, and it's people see it as glamorous, and and it's cool, more than actually being an actor. The reality of it, which is hard work. So a lot of people don't finish what they start. They set off on this path to become an actor, do a few classes, they collect the set, so they get the headshot, the spotlight, maybe they're lucky enough to get representation, and then they don't do any more work because the going gets tough then, and they just go, oh well, I'll just leave it all to the gods, or I'll just leave it to my agent, see what they can come up with. So you've got to finish what you begin. I Periscope about what are you working on question last night, says Tony. It's the question everybody gets asked as soon as you say I'm an actor. Oh, what are you in then? Or what are you doing? Or that kind of thing. So a lot of people have hang-ups about admitting that they are an actor because they don't want to be questioned. See lots of young graduates that have an agent but don't try and get work themselves. Definitely across the board that happens where Warren. People take their foot off the gas. They finish what they start in terms of they set out to get an agent, to get headshots, to get a show reel together, and they do all that, which takes loads of effort, and it's such a shame because once they've got all that together, they go, oh, I've done it. There you go, I can breathe now, and I'll just leave my agent to deal with that. And then they sit at home going like this, oh God. And then they start getting bitter. And then they start saying how expensive it is to be an actor and how I've got to pay for spotlight and I've got to do this. And then they go out and waste money, which was point number 1. And it's just it's that crazy 8 again, it's that vicious cycle. So point number 3, don't finish what you start. Point number 4, another one I see all the time. You love playing the blame game. Okay, yes, some people are fortunate enough to get the right opportunities, but without the will to succeed, even those opportunities will be absolutely useless. The single biggest factor behind success is how badly you want to succeed, but not just that, it's this next bit, and your willingness to take personal responsibility. It's what we just said, not your agent, you. If all you do is blame your parents, your boss, your friends for your lack of success, it means your approach towards life is passive. I was talking to Lee about this before. You believe someone else is in control of your destiny. And once you start believing that, you are doomed. So ask yourself, are you living right now an active life or a passive life? If your life is active, you feel you can control it. You feel you can change it. You've probably got a growth mindset where you don't feel anything is fixed. If you can't do something today, you can learn how to do it tomorrow. If you've got a fixed mindset, you'll be living a passive life where you feel you've been dealt a hand of cards which are yours and that's all you've got to play with. You don't feel you have the power to hand the dealer back those cards and deal yourself your next hand. So people love playing the blame game, and it's just lack of accountability. You know, they always say, I saw somebody post on the Equity website the other day, a casting breakdown that I'd actually published, not a casting breakdown, but like a new commission breakdown that I'd actually published on the website, and someone had copied it from the website and published it on the Equity page, and they put at the bottom of their post, we won't get seen for this in the North again, or something like that. Why? Question mark. I was like, wow. Okay, so that's classic example of a passive life, feeling that you can't do anything about it. I mean, what stops, Selena's laughing, what stops them from, I put the production company on there, I put the director, the producer, when it was going into production, but they are addicted to the struggle. They love mouthing off in public to go, woe me, it's not my fault, I'll blame some external factors because it removes all accountability from me, thus I'm not to blame, I'm just the victim, as opposed to becoming the victor of your situation. So people love playing the blame game, and I say in Bulletproof Actor, if you're going to blame unconsciously like that, so if you're going to blame everything for the wrong that it's done to you, or how you've been deceived, or what you feel you've lost through a situation happening to you, you must also blame consciously, which is blaming that situation for all the good that it's brought you. It's so much easier to blame everyone else. It is, Selena, it's so easy to blame other people because it makes us feel better. Because we go, oh, it's not my fault, I was born big boned, I was always destined to be fat. Well, you're not. You're putting cream cakes in your mouth. Maybe. I went to a rubbish school as a kid and I was never intelligent. I was dyslexic. I was this, I was that, I was whatever. As opposed to, I'll spend my, it flashed then. As opposed to, yeah, I'll spend a couple of hours, few nights a week or whatever, going to night school to re-educate myself or whatever it is. They don't feel they've got that control. They live in a passive life. Point number 5, and this is the whole thing behind Bulletproof Actor, really, in terms of the first module at least. It's people who are destined for failure just literally don't believe in themselves. And I've said this so many times and it sounds so cliched, but I still don't believe most people, even when they feel they believe in themselves, actually believe in themselves. If you don't believe in yourself, you're almost certain to fail. Why, you ask? Okay, it's simple. Those who believe that something is possible make determined efforts to make their dreams come true. Chronic failures, on the other hand, believe from the very beginning that nothing is going to work. Okay, as a result, they never put in the effort to succeed and are always looking for signs that prove what they are doing won't work. Their lack of self-belief ensures a lack of action and eventually a lack of success. So the beginning of the mindset program looks at something called the success cycle, which is developed by Tony Robbins, and it starts off with belief in your potential determines the action that you take, which determines your results, which determines the belief that feeds back into your potential. So if you feel you've got little potential, you take no action, you get terrible results, and then you say, I told you, it wasn't going to work. You feel you've got less potential for next time, less action, and you go down to the ground. If you believe you've got massive potential, I can do this, you take massive action. By default, you get great results. It feeds back into your belief. You go, see, I told you I could do it. I've got even more potential for next time. You take more action, and you go up the other way. A lot of people just feel that they don't have the potential, so they don't believe in themselves, and they just, ultimately they just set themselves up for failure from the word go. And even when people know that, and they know that, they do have the potential, I still don't believe that people sometimes fully commit to it. They still have doubts, and it's about reminding yourself every single day that if it's been done by another human being, there's no reason on earth you can't do it. Within reason, like I said, there's no way. I've got an eye condition. I'm not going to be a Formula 1 driver because I just don't have the peripheral vision to drive. I'm not allowed. Okay, so I can't say, well, I'm going to wish myself. I believe in myself. I can be a Formula 1 driver. There's limitations, isn't there? But generally, pretty much, unless you're very, very unfortunate and you're hugely disabled in whatever way, you've got so much potential to pretty much do whatever you want. And I mentioned Roger Bannister breaking the 4-minute mile. Before he ran the 4-minute mile, nobody believed that the human being had the potential to run a 4-minute mile, so no one tried. The minute he did it, the year that he did it, he ran it in 3:59.96 or something like that. He just beat the 4-minute mile. More than 30 people ran it that year. His record lasted just 3 months because it suddenly became possible. People saw the potential to run a 4-minute mile that they'd never seen before, so it's only impossible until it's been done. Point number 6, and I'm massive on this, I'm going to produce a course on it, definitely for the new year, for people for next year, is you don't set goals. Okay, if you don't have goals, it means you don't know where you're going. If you don't know where you're going, then it's almost certain that you're going to wander around aimlessly. Success is a journey with milestones, all right, but it needs a map to keep you on track. Your goals are your map. If you don't have them, you will end up being lost in the wilderness. Are people still, because we did loads of scopes on goal setting in December, didn't we, for the new year? If you set goals back then, are you still keeping a track on them? Because this is really important, because if you're not, you need to start tracking them. Like, get back on track today. Doesn't mean you've lost and it's over. Get back on track. Start checking in with yourself if you can at least once a week to see whether you're on track to fulfilling your goals. And your goals should have been those SMART goals that are specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, time-bound, exciting and relevant. They're the smarter goals. But check in with yourself. If you only check in with yourself once a year, you're going to fail, totally. But if you check in with yourself once a month, you've got 12 times as much chance of succeeding. If you check in with yourself once a week, you've got 56 times more chance, of succeeding. So you've got so much more control over your goals if you check in with yourself regularly. Check in with yourself once a day if you can. Although I know that keeps blanking out. Let me know if it's blanking out for you. Use apps as well to help you track your goals. There's things like Evernote, and then there's even there's things, I think one called Stride. There's quite a lot of goal setting apps purpose built just for goal setting and tracking goal setting. Or use general ones like Evernote and Workflowy. I use quite a lot. It's like a listing app. Very, very cool and free. So check in with yourself as often as you can. Last one. This is the one. Keeps losing connection, says Lee. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that, Lee. Apologise. But the replay will be fine, I think, because this saves directly to my phone, so the replay should be okay. But the connection drops every now and again. Yeah, it's Periscope being a bit weird. Last one. This is the one that I feel still crops up in my life now and again if I don't remind myself of it, but it's very important, okay? And this is that you care too much about what others think. Right, it's a big one for nearly all of us, I reckon. But even if people do judge you, right, you need to remember it only reflects who they are as a person. It doesn't reflect who you are. Okay, the truth is, even if you do end up trying to please some of these people, there will be another group that will find something else to complain about. It's always the case. Some people are just never happy, are they? Tracy says, oh yes. I'm awful with this, totally, says Warren. Stop trying to please everyone. Right, I agree, says Vanantoska. It's impossible. Instead, why not please the most important person in your life? Who's the most important person in your life? It's you, all right? Because if you're all right, everyone's going to be all right. Every part of your life affects every part of your life. So if you please yourself, every part of your life will be better, and you will inevitably end up pleasing more people if you are pleasing yourself. It's the one that I struggle with a little bit, because I'm like, obviously we care what people think of us, but I always ask myself this, right? I judge it like this. Do I respect that person? Would I want to emulate what they have? Are our values the same? And would I want to, do I want to be like them effectively? If the answer to those is no, then I don't care what they think, because they don't have anything that I want. If I see someone who's got success, I respect them. I would love to have a lifestyle like that. I think they've got integrity. They're decent people. Of course I care what they think about me, because I respect them and I would like them to respect me back. On the other hand, if they're just haters, and like the trolls, remember the trolls who came on the Periscope last Monday? We had about 300 people trolling the Periscope. I didn't care less what those guys were saying on there, because I don't respect any of them. They don't have anything that I want. I just pity them. But that's the one that I still need to remind myself of more often. So to recap from 7 to 1, these are the 7 signs you need to look out for, okay? If you're seeing these crop up regularly in your life, you're having way less success than you deserve, okay? Lee says that was funny to watch on the replay. You dealt with that amazingly. My mum even watched it today. She was laughing her head off. My mum, she goes, I love the comment where that guy said, did you play the wardrobe in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? Like, Mum, you're not supposed to laugh at these comments. It was funny though. So from 7 to 1, 7, you care too much about what other people think, all right? Thanks, Madam Tosca, says you were amazing, thank you. Number 6, you don't set goals, okay? You've got to set your goals, guys. Number 5, don't believe in yourself. Got to believe in yourself. Don't stop believing. Put that song on now and again. 4, you love playing the blame game, all right? That's number 4. Number 5, you don't finish what you start. Got to finish what you start, what you set out to do. That is often a result of number 2, which is number 6, sorry. Number 2 on these, but yeah, you are not disciplined, okay? Don't listen to the dream stealers, said somebody. That's a good one. You're not disciplined. And then number 1, the one that was a bit controversial that a few people were questioning at the beginning, was you love wasting money and you expect your parents to foot the bill. It might not be your parents, could be a significant other. It might just be that no one foots the bill, but you just waste money because you love wasting money, because it brings you instant gratuity. It makes you feel better instantly if you go out and buy a handbag, go out and get drunk, go out and blow loads of money on a fancy meal. Is it serving you well? Or are you going to go next week? Are you going to start claiming? I don't mind what you do with your money actually at all, but invest it in yourself, all right? If you invest it on your education, you invest it in things that are going to make you feel good. Things like, if you're going for an audition and getting your hair done, it's going to give you confidence and make you feel great when you walk in the room. That's an investment in yourself. That's fine. But don't spend money and then whine to me about how you've got no money to spend on your acting career or the things that you really want to do with your life. Ultimately, that's probably what I should have put on the slide. Okay? Don't spend your cash on things that aren't serving you well and then tell me that you've got no money because the acting industry is too expensive and you can't get your spotlight this year when you've gone and spent all your money, on 3 nights out. Ultimately, that's it. But don't like I say, don't deprive yourself. And if you've got an abundance of money, go and do what the hell you want with it. It's entirely up to you. I just bought a new workout regime, but did feel bad about it. No, I would say that's a great investment, Lee, because that's something. If it's a regime and it's something you bought, it's something that you can do again and again and again. It's not a one-time experience and it's done. It's something that will give you a foundation in fitness. It's going to make you feel better about yourself because you're going to feel healthier, you're going to look better, you're going to have more energy. Every part of your life affects every part of your life. If you've got more energy, you're going to be more driven to go out there and do more work. If you do more work, you're going to have more success. If you have more success, it's going to feed back into the potential you believe you have. If you feed back into your potential, you're going to take more action, you're going to get better results, more belief. It's one of the best things you can spend money on. If you said, I just bought myself Star Wars box set DVD, well, you know, then I go, okay, well, that's probably not, you know, if there's better things to spend your money on, that, you know, that's probably a waste. Watch out for sweaty pics again. Yeah, it's fine. So Lee posts pictures after his workouts. See a few people doing this. And for him, it's a way of monitoring and being accountable for the fact that he's working out. A lot of people give him shit for it on Facebook and go, oh, you're sick of seeing your pictures. Oh, you know, don't want to see this. My reply to them would be, block me. You know, unsubscribe from my notifications. If it's something that's keeping you accountable, which is ultimately making your life better, making you feel, you know, good about yourself, keep doing it, because those people are only bashing you because they're not working out, and it's reminding them that they're sat on the sofa, eating shit, drinking shit, feeling hungover, and they couldn't possibly work out. You're gonna get that in your life. People are gonna hate you, and people will only hate on you when what you are doing hasn't worked for them, or they don't have the energy to do what you're doing, and they don't want to see your success because it makes them feel bad about themselves. I'll post things when I go running, and I'll post my run because I have apps. I have this thing called Endomondo which tracks my run, and you can press one button and it puts it on your social media for you. And I do that to hopefully try and inspire other people to go out and have a run. But there'll be some people who hate seeing that, and I'm like, oh Ross, you're such a dick. Why, you know, we don't want to see that. You're showing off. I'm not showing off. I'm celebrating a win, something that I've done in my life, something that I value and that I'm proud of ultimately. So screw them. If they're not people, remember, what did we just say? It all comes down to this, Lee. That one. You care too much about what other people think. If they don't have, if their values out of line with yours and they don't have what you want and you wouldn't want to be them, don't give a shit about what they think. Keep doing you and don't worry about them. So there you go, guys. There's some real talk for Periscope on a Monday. On Wednesday, we'll be back 10 p.m. And it could be book club on Wednesday. It might not be, depending on whether I can get this podcast like published through iTunes. I'm going to record it tomorrow. If it looks like it's going to get passed, because they have to vet it, if it looks like it's going to get passed, by Friday, I'll do the book club on Wednesday. And I don't even know what book it's going to be. It's going to be interesting. I've got loads of books that have been ordered that I've not read yet. So I'm going to pick one at random. Any news on the actor business venture? Yeah, so another thing that I want to do, and I came up with it today, Warren. So what I want to do is I want to start a movement, guys. Again, because I'm sick of actors having bad relationships with money, feeling that I put a tweet out the other day because it annoyed me. I said I'm sick of seeing people labeling themselves struggling actors, jobbing actors, this, that and the other. They're labeling themselves a struggling actor like it's a badge of honor, like it's something they're totally proud of. You want to be an actor, not a struggling actor. So you've almost spelt it rightly. So yeah, I want to teach people how to be actorpreneurs. Okay, so you take control of your finances by having a business that you're passionate about in or out of the acting industry. It doesn't have to be anything to do with the acting industry. I think actors have a lot, it's going to be worthwhile you creating a business on that's going to earn you passive income that you can then invest back into yourself and your acting career to have more success on your own terms, not working for minimum wage for somebody else, feeling you have no control of your life and living a passive life. So yeah, it's not going to be an overnight thing, Warren. I'm going to have to really think about actually how we do that. It's probably going to be a course similar to the Bulletproof Actor program, but it's going to be quite a bit more interactive. It might be like in a few stages. So I'll show people first of all how to set up their first blog, so their first self-hosted website effectively, free e-commerce solutions. I was saying to Lee, I set a business up last year, a voiceover training business that was bringing in, well, potentially if we ran it every month, it would have brought in £60,000 a year revenue. And that website took me a weekend to set up and it cost me less than £100. So you can do it. And people who tell me they can't do it, just get it in their own way. So I want to show people how you can set up e-commerce solutions very, very cheaply, as long as you've got the product to sell. I can't give you the product. You've got to come up with your own products and go, what is it that, what's my unique ability? How can I offer value? And what are people going to be prepared to buy from me? But I can show you once you've got that product, and also tactics for how you come up with products as well. And how you can get those online and start earning money very, very quickly. As long as you've got a really good, good product and you're selling things, that are delivering, value, if you deliver a bad product, you'll only ever sell that product once and no one will buy your second product. So you've got to be careful with what you're actually putting out there. But I can show people how to do this stuff, and that's what I want to do. Actorpreneurs, I will coin it. Not entrepreneurs, but actorpreneurs. So I'll keep you posted on that. But yeah, join us on Wednesday. I'll be able to give you an update. But 10 p.m. UK time. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for watching, Tony, all the way from the States over there. Keep up the good work, everybody. How was everybody's Easter? How many Easter eggs did you get? I ate a whole box of Green and Black's Selection Bar chocolate over the last 2 days. But I did run 13 miles yesterday. 1. Sounds great, says Warren. Thanks. No problem, Warren. Just 1 egg, Lee. That's good. That's all right. At least you got 1. Didn't overindulge. I bloody love chocolate though, but it's bad, isn't it? But I have dark chocolate now. A bit better for you, so I believe. But yeah, if you've got any eggs left, go and get them, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday night. Tweet me at Ross A. Grant if you've got any ideas for future Periscopes as well. And if you're not part of the Facebook group, come and join us. If you're an actor, come to facebook.com/groups/ActOnThisTV. And the other group for the mindset stuff is facebook.com/groups/Bulletproof Actor. So come and be part of the community. It will be great to see you there. I'm going to relaunch ActOnThis.tv as well, the main website that I run in about a week's time. All very, very exciting. Got a lot of new features coming up. I'll speak to you on Wednesday, guys. Have a fantastic rest of the night. Enjoy tomorrow, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.